Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a really chatty, casual get ready with me. I filmed the look that I'm wearing today. I did wear it in a recent video and a lot of you guys were asking for a tutorial, so I thought I would just sit down and show you how I got the look. To be honest, I think that it looked better the first time I did it, but I did my best to recreate it and I hope you guys enjoy it. You can do something a little bit more subtle, a little bit more toned down if you don't want something so intense and purple, but I've really been into purple lately, so I just want to wear purple all over my eyes. Anyways, I did use a lot of my favorite products, some older favorites, some newer favorites, but I just wanted to show some love to my favorite products instead of constantly testing out so many new products. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's jump into it and I will show you guys how I got the look. So I'm using two palettes. I'm using the Anastasia Norvina palette and I'm excited to use this because last time I used it on camera, I just used some of the pink shades and today I'm using all of the purple shades. And then I'm using the purple from the Juvia's Place Masquerade palette. This has been one of my favorites. So I did prime my eyes with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion and then I set that into place and I'm just going to take the shade Soul. So I'm just going to blend this color as my transition shade. So I'm going to start low and just kind of blend it up into the crease. Honestly, the majority of this color is going to be covered up when I go in with a darker purple. But how is your week going so far? I hope you guys are doing really well. I am so tired today. I've actually been doing a really good job at going to bed early. I have dubbed September Self-Care September because the summer was just so crazy. Like a lot of times you assume the summer is like relaxing and full of restful days. And I think I have it in my mind that the summer is like lazy and just, I don't know, I guess just relaxing because when you're younger, it usually is. Summer seems to last forever and there's just like summer vacations and everybody's home and it's just not like that when you're an adult. But we were just gone a lot of the summer and when we weren't gone, things were crazy. We were just like trying to get back into our routine or getting ready to go out of town again. So because it went by so quickly, I don't know that we experienced any downtime. It was actually more stressful than it was relaxing, which is fine. There are periods of life that are like that, but I think I just associate summer as like a relaxing time in my mind. Anyways, I knew we didn't have too much going on during the fall in terms of traveling. Like work is really busy for Brady in the fall and I don't know, things always just come up around like the fall and the holiday season, but in terms of like going out of town, we were going to be home. So I was like, we are dubbing September Self-Care September. It is time to focus on self-care in terms of like sleep and eating well and exercising and saving money and just like everything. So my number one goal was to get really good sleep. I thought if I could get back on track with sleep, that would solve a lot of issues. During the summertime, I was getting like 4 hours of sleep, which was really bad. Okay, I'm just going to switch over to the Juvia's Place palette and take this purple shade right here. We're going to get a little bit messy, so if you do this, I would recommend doing your eyes first. I'm just going to take it and blend it all over my lid. This shadow's really nice. I recommend going in with your finger. I usually go in with my finger, and then I will take a brush after that and just get any places that I couldn't get with my finger, like the really inner corner, really close to the lower lash line, like right up into the crease. But I like to lay down like the main color with my finger because the shadows just go on so beautifully. Ironically, one of the books that I read at the beginning of 2018 was called Sleep Smarter, and it was like, I think I had like 10 or 12 different practices that you could implement to get better sleep and just more sleep. It just makes such a difference when it comes to everything, like your mood, your stress level, your anxiety, your weight loss. I decided in September I was going to go to bed early. So I usually wake up at 7 and I wanted to get 8 hours of sleep. So I needed to go to bed by 11, but it usually takes me a little bit to wind down. So I said by 10 o'clock I was going to like shut everything off, go wash my face, maybe read a book and just relax, like leave the electronics off. Doing a really good job. I think that keeping my phone out on the counter in the kitchen has made a big difference because a lot of times I just check my email or I watch YouTube or I respond to YouTube comments, and obviously I love doing that, but I would stay up until like 2 in the morning doing that and just like getting distracted, and I just didn't feel tired because I was doing that every night. I told myself I can't do that, I have to go to bed. So sometimes I actually have to lay there for a while before I actually fall asleep, but it's fine. I was feeling really well rested. I felt so good. I've definitely cut back on caffeine. I told you guys I was trying to cut it out completely. That didn't happen, but now that I've been getting better sleep, I have been able to really cut back. I will say that I haven't been doing as well this week just because things have been a little bit busy and I've just gotten out of the habit of going to bed early. So that is something I need to get back into. So that was like one of my goals for Self-Care September, just to get regular high quality sleep. But the second goal was just to I talked about this on Instagram, but we wanted to go grocery shopping and eat at home because in general, when you eat at home and cook your own food, it's going to be healthier than going out to eat, at least for me personally. When we cook at home, we eat very healthy, simple meals. But we have been grocery shopping and eating at home. Brady cooks our meals and he is a way better cook than me. I could do it if I had to. I just don't like doing it and he loves doing it, so that works out perfectly. So getting better sleep, eating well, we've also been saving money. We just haven't done anything in September, which has kind of been nice. Like when we have a day off, instead of like spending money and doing something, we just decided to like stay at home and relax or clean or watch a movie, and it's been so nice. So I can't complain about that, and inevitably we've just saved money. And then I think our last like main goal was just to exercise 4 times a week, which we've been doing as well. But this week's been a little bit more difficult. I don't know why. I just haven't been as self-disciplined with it. So I'm telling you guys right now that I'm going to get back on track with Self-Care September. And I challenge you guys, if you are just feeling like you need some self-love, some self-care, then take the time and do it. I don't know what that means for you personally, whether it's like, you know, not spending money or just eating better or exercising or spending time outside or away from your phone. That has been a big one for me. I've really been trying to disconnect from my phone more often, especially at night. I just turn it off and I don't touch it until I get back from working out in the morning. So it's like out of my hand for almost 12 hours. Maybe more like 10, but either way, it feels really, really good. So anyways, that is how my September has been so far. How has your September been? I hope that it's relaxing. I think that as an adult, like heading into the fall, that tends to be a little bit more of a relaxing time of the year. Again, if you have kids, that's probably not true because they're heading back to school, but maybe it's good because then you can all get back into like your regular routines and just get back into the swing of things. Honestly, I don't know what's up with my eye because I feel like no matter what shadow I've been blending right here, it gives me trouble. It's so weird. Like it's not dry, but no matter what shadow I blend right there, it gives me some issues. So I have to like work to blend it really well. Honestly, I feel like once I'm done with the whole eye look, it usually turns out fine. So let me do this other eye and then I'll be right back. So I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions for me. So I'm just going to go through and answer some of them while I do my makeup. So I'm going to take the Norvina palette and I'm going to take the shade Celestial, which is this really pretty purple, and place that in like the inner corner and then all over the lid. And then I'm going to go in with the darker purple shade and use that in the outer corner and the crease. So those are the 2 shades I'm working with. We'll start with Celestial. And again, I'm just taking that on my finger and I'm just going to place it on the lid. This is just going to make the look a little bit lighter, give it a little more dimension. Celestial is really pretty on its own as well, but I think it really just like adds a pop when you layer it on top of a darker shadow or like a darker base. A lot of the shades in the Norvina palette are a little bit more subtle. So if you want more of like a subtle pink look or a subtle purple look, you can get it using this palette, but they really intensify if you layer them over dark shadows. And I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. It just adds a lot of dimension to the look. Okay, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Smoky Shadow Brush, which is like a tapered, dense brush, and I'm just going to pack the color Drama into the outer corner. Okay, this one is from Gisela. I think that's how you say it. That's a really pretty name, if that's your name, if I said it right. But it says, how do you overcome insecurities from the internet? So the internet's a weird place. I think I'm pretty good at not comparing myself on like Instagram or social media because honestly, I don't really get into social media for personal use. I do use social media for YouTube and connecting with you guys and like if I want to keep you posted about my videos or just chat with you one-on-one. I think that I've had to fight against feeling insecure from YouTube comments. People tend to point out things that you would never even be insecure about. Like I obviously have insecurities, as does everybody, because I'm, you know, a human. But the thing about YouTube is like, if say I'm insecure about my eyebrows, which I guess is a legitimate one because why are eyebrows so important? It drives me crazy. I hate that eyebrows are like I hate that they matter so much because I'm so bad at doing eyebrows. Anyway, say I'm insecure about my eyebrows and somebody points it out. That doesn't bother me because it's like, I know I'm insecure about it. Like I know they don't look that good, but people will say things that I just never had insecurities about. And then I have to second guess it. And I'm like, okay, so one time I read a comment from somebody saying that I parted my hair weird and it like made them like legitimately angry. And then I was like, is the way I part my hair like that weird? So then every time I would look in the mirror, I was like paranoid and I'm like, is it weird? And that's just like a little example. So it's tough because things that you would never even think of come up. So I guess I don't know. I just try not to dwell on it. I think the older you get, the more secure you are in yourself. And I know that we always deal with insecurities. We always will deal with insecurities our whole life. But the older I honestly get, I feel more secure in like who I am, my character, my looks, like everything. I just learned to accept it and be okay with it and be happy with it and change the things that I want to change. I think it just kind of comes with age. I think if I had been on YouTube as a teenager, it would have been really hard. Just because when you're a teenager, everything hurts so much. So I think being on my 20s, like I've been in my 20s while I've been on YouTube, it's been a lot easier. I'm going to line my eyes with the Tarte Maneater liquid liner, and I'm going to do it off camera because I can never seem to do it on camera. I have to get like 2 inches away from the mirror. So I'm going to line my eyes and do a wing, and then I'll be right back. So I am going to take the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist. I always forget that my camera autofocuses, so hopefully that is helpful. I've been talking about this pretty much all summer. I don't spray it directly onto my face. I just spray it into my hand and then press it into my skin, and that works really well. I know I always say this, but my skin does get really red when I press on it. Actually, one of the questions, somebody said, your freckles are so pretty, why do you cover them up? No need to answer if it's too personal. That's really nice of you. Thank you. Okay, I'm not gonna lie and say that my freckles are like my favorite thing in the whole world. My mom is a redhead and she has a million freckles, and that is where I got them from. But I don't hate them. Like, I don't have anything against freckles. The issue for me is that my skin has always been so acne prone ever since I was a teenager. When I was younger, and even still now, my skin would break out, and I always felt like my freckles just kind of made my skin look worse than it actually was. By the way, I'm going to use the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. You guys, they expanded the shade range. They used to have, I think, 3 or 4 shades, and now they have 18, which is amazing. They could definitely still use some lighter shades, some darker shades, but they said they're working on it for their winter launch. So they've asked for feedback as to which shades they're missing, and they're going to add them. So I am so happy because this is one of my favorite formulas. I've always been hesitant to mention it on my channel because the shade range is really lacking, and I hate when I can't recommend something that a lot of people can use. Okay, so what was I saying? The issue with having freckles is that if I pretty much apply any foundation, they're bound to get covered up because I do like more of a full coverage foundation, and it's not necessarily to hide freckles. It's because my skin does break out. It hasn't been breaking out as much lately, so that's not the issue, but my skin does scar when it breaks out. I do have oily skin. Usually when I wear makeup, I want it to last all day, and because I have oily skin, I usually have to go in with more of a full coverage matte foundation. And if I'm trying to cover up redness or trying to cover up acne scarring, inevitably the freckles just get covered up. There are days when I don't wear makeup, and there are days when I go in with literally just concealer. I do that fairly often. But if I'm wearing like a full-on intense bright eye look like I'm wearing today, or I'm wearing dramatic makeup, I just like everything to be pretty full coverage. I don't usually go in with like dramatic eye makeup and light face makeup, and I don't know, I guess I never really thought about it. I don't purposely go in and like hide every single freckle on my face because I have freckles on my whole body. Like, you're going to see them on me even if I'm like wearing full coverage foundation. So it's not like I walk around with like long sleeves on to cover up freckles. I don't hate freckles. It's just the type of foundations that I like inevitably cover them up, I guess, if that makes sense. But a lot of people, I think that I hate them, so I cover them up. It's not that. It's just I don't have a lot of like light coverage foundations that I like that will cover redness, cover acne scarring, but let freckles show through, I guess. So Product of Grace 1 said, have you ever thought about actively pursuing or creating your own cosmetic brand? And that is definitely not something that I want to do. I like makeup. I think it's so much fun, but it's not a direction that I would want to go. Like, I don't think I would want to create my own cosmetics brand. I don't think I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not really well versed in, I guess, technique and how to put colors together. Like, that's just not my strength. I like to just approach it from like the standpoint of a normal, person who likes to just do their makeup for fun at home, and I don't think that creating a cosmetics line would be in my future. If I created anything within the beauty industry, I would love to create a cruelty-free beauty subscription service. A lot of the cruelty-free beauty subscription services that I've looked into just haven't really been what I'm looking for. I know there are a lot out there, and I know there are some good ones, don't get me wrong, but my favorite subscription services are like BoxyCharm and FabFitFun. They include a lot of I guess, full-sized high-end products for an affordable price. And BoxyCharm's really great because I think they include a good mix of well-known high-end brands, but also some lesser-known brands that are really good quality. But I think what people really want in their subscription boxes a lot of times are brands they can find at like Sephora or Ulta. But a lot of the cruelty-free subscription boxes are just smaller companies, inevitably, because they're competing with some of the larger subscription box companies. So a lot of the brands are lesser-known brands, or the products, how do I put it? I guess they just aren't necessarily mainstream brands, which is perfectly fine. But I love getting mainstream brands in my subscription boxes that I might find at like Sephora and Ulta. And again, it's nice to get a mix, but I just think it's exciting when you get like a palette that you can find at Sephora or Ulta, or like a Becca highlighter. So I would love to be able to create like a cruelty-free subscription box that has like full-size products that even people who aren't cruelty-free would love to have. I think the subscription box industry has to be a tough one. It's so hard to please everyone, and no matter what, people are always disappointed and frustrated. So I just don't think that's for me, but in my dreams, that would be a fun thing to do. I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. I have the shade Almond, and this has been my go-to concealer. I just love it. It's full coverage, it's beautiful, it's blendable, and it's not super drying. It just looks great on the skin. A ton of you guys are asking me questions about my pugs, like just if I like having pugs, how are they doing, do they sneeze a lot? I love having pugs. My one dog is like pretty much a full pug, and our other dog is a Jack Russell pug mix. Charlie is the boy and he's older, and Kenny, her name's actually Kennedy, but we call her Kenny, is the girl, and she's like the pug and she's younger. They're actually at daycare today, which sounds ridiculous if you don't have a dog, I know. But it's been raining nonstop, and they do not, I put way too much on. I'm just not even paying attention to what I'm doing. They will not go outside in this weather. Like, they will not go on walks. You think, or you would think that a pug would be like easily controllable, like you could just make them go on a walk. They are so strong, it's ridiculous. So when Brady walks them every morning, like in front of our house, like on the road back and forth, I just see them pulling on their leashes so hard to get inside. If it's raining, they absolutely hate it. So we just actually send them to daycare when this happens, because they go and they play. They have this little area for like small dogs. It's so cute. I do love having pugs so much. I think they're so much fun. I mean, they do sneeze on everything, and I think Brady and I are just kind of immune to it at this point, because whenever somebody new comes over and they're just not used to it, they're like, oh my gosh, your pug sneezing on me. And I think we don't even realize that they sneeze everywhere. So this is my process for cleaning it up. I know it looks kind of weird at first, but I go back in and blend everything out. Sometimes the purple shadow goes a little bit too far in and it creates a weird shadow. So eventually I clean this part up and this part up, and then I blend it all together, and it looks fine in the end. I just know it's not like a proper technique. I'm just going to set my under eye concealer with the Urban Decay Velvetizer. This is actually like a mix-in powder that you're supposed to use to mix into your foundation, but I always use it to set my under eye concealer, because for some reason, it literally locks my concealer into place perfectly. I'm using the Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. Mine is almost gone. I actually added it to my Ulta cart, so when I place my next Ulta order during the 21 Days of Beauty, I will make sure to grab another one of these. I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Setting Powder and just use this to lightly dust over my face. I try not to go in with a heavy hand because it is a little bit darker than my skin tone, but it works so well. It literally locks my foundation into place all day. Okay, I'm going to finish the eyes before I do the rest of my face makeup. So I'm just going to take the purple shadow that I blended all over the lid and into the crease, and actually blend that on the lower lash line as well. Kate asked, is your makeup room always a mess? LOL. Yes, it definitely is. My room is really small. A lot of you guys asked me to do like a beauty room tour. It's super, super small. But I can definitely film one for you. Honestly, I just have like makeup everywhere because I'm either like filming a video, or I'm working on a video, or I'm testing new makeup. So I literally just have like trays of makeup everywhere that I either have in mind for a video idea or that I need to test. So it definitely gets messy. Sin Creates Beauty said, if you could only have products from one brand, what brand would it be? That is a tough one. I would have said ColourPop. I don't know though, like I wear a mix of products from all different brands, so I think that would be tough. Maybe Urban Decay, because I use a lot of their base products. Like, I love their foundations, their powders, concealers are good, and they have all different kinds. Their eyeshadows are great, and then they have really good lip products as well. So I think I could be okay if I just had to use Urban Decay products. Speaking of Urban Decay, I'm going to use the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Vice, which is a really pretty purple, and just use this on my waterline, and then I'm going to kind of smudge it on the lower lash line as well. M Squirrel asked, how is your health and fitness journey going? It's going really well. As I kind of mentioned in the beginning of the video, I took a little bit of a break during the summertime. I really started like last November, so it's almost been a year, like September, October, and then it will have been a full year that I started like working out and eating really healthy. And if you're new to my channel or you haven't heard me mention it in a previous video, I do go to like small group personal training. So essentially it's like working out with a personal trainer, but there are other people there. There's usually like 3 or 4 of us, so it's really great. I love it. Like, I've been working out with the same people now for almost like that full year, which is really cool. It just kind of keeps you accountable. Like, not only, where's my eyebrow pencil? I'm using 2 brow pencils. I'm using the ColourPop Brow Boss in the shade Dark Brown, and then I've been using the Anastasia brow pencil, but I can't find mine, so I'll be using the NYX brow pencil in the shade Ash Brown for like the front of my brows. I like the ColourPop Brow Boss pencil, but I don't like it in the front of my brows because it looks a little bit gray when I draw on hair where I don't have it. It just looks a little bit weird, but it's good for like filling in the majority of my brow. So I've been using it for this part. But it has been going really well. Like I said, during the summertime, I kind of took a break with the whole eating thing. I've never wanted to be obsessive with it. I have just kind of wanted to like live my life, make lifestyle changes, and I know people say that, but honestly, that is the way to go because that's what's going to last, that's what's going to cause permanent change. So I've never been like super intensely hard on myself, and honestly, if I was, I'm sure that I could have lost the weight more quickly. I've lost 30 pounds, and it's taken me a while. I mean, I guess it's really taken me like 10 months to lose 30 pounds, which is pretty slow, but at the same time, I know that it's like permanent weight loss because this summer, you know, I wasn't being like super hard on myself or super strict when it came to eating, and I didn't gain any of the weight back. So I know that it's permanent weight loss, which is important, but I mean, you see things online where people lose like 50 pounds in 6 months, and I think that's amazing. And not that it's not practical, because it obviously works well for them, and I'm sure that you can do that in a healthy way. I guess that just hasn't been really what I ever had in mind for me. I never really felt insecure about my weight, which I think is kind of weird because a lot of people's weight loss journeys do start because of that insecurity, but for me, it was just always about the health. I knew that I wasn't healthy, I knew that I needed to get healthy, so I think that I've been able to approach it from a healthy standpoint because it always has been about my health. So I try not to be too hard on myself. Like this summer, I just wanted to relax, and it was a busy summer and it was crazy, and there were so many other stressful things going on that I didn't really want like weight loss and just like eating to be another stress in my life. But now that the crazy summer is over, I'm ready to get back to it. I just want to feel better, and I feel really good when I do exercise and eat well. I think that the exercise part has been a little bit of a challenge for me because a lot of people say that you get like obsessed with exercising and you just love it and you can't wait to go, and that it hasn't been the case for me. Like, I love where I work out, and I think that the trainers are great and the people are great, but I just never feel like so excited to go exercise, to do cardio, to sweat. I just don't get that like excited feeling about it. Obviously, I suck it up and do it anyways because it is important, and you know, it's not about the motivation. It's definitely more so about like the actual discipline of going, because I just don't know if there's ever been a day where I like jumped out of bed so excited to work out, but I feel good when I do it. I'm definitely stronger. I'm in so much better shape, and I like the way that my body is changing when I do work out consistently. Like, you just see your body changing shape, and not just like losing weight, but like I'm getting stronger. I love how my legs look more toned and defined, and I'm just happy with it all around. Sometimes if I blended the shadow too high, which I did today, that happens when I usually talk and blend at the same time, I just take a Q-tip and like lightly take away like the very top part before going in with a brush because I don't want to blend that purple shade up so high again. Okay, I'm going to do the other brow off camera, and then we will finish up with the face. Okay, this brow, it's not cooperating. I did put brow gel on, so it is currently drying. I just used the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. That one is my favorite. doesn't want to focus, but it's just drying a little bit. Sometimes when you keep messing with it, it just looks worse. So we're just gonna leave it. I've used my Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara, and I'm just going to apply the inner corner highlight. So I'm just going to use the shade Dreamer from the Norvina palette and just place that right in the inner corners, just to add a fun little pop of shimmer. And that is it for the eyes. I don't think it turned out as well as it did the first time. I think I blended my crease shade up too high, so it's looking a little bit patchy, like especially right here and right here, but what can you do? If you guys have better blending skills than me, it will look even better on you. I just think it's kind of fun. Like, it's a pretty intense purple look. Obviously, you could do a more subtle version, but if you're in the mood for like a really intense purple eye, definitely check out those two palettes. Let's finish up. So I'm going to take the Balms Take Home the Bronze Anti-Orange Bronzer. I wear the shade Oscar, and I'm just going to use my Crown SS023 Jumbo Kabuki brush. This is my favorite brush for bronzer. I like this brush so much. I got it in a BoxyCharm, and I just love it because it creates a really nice like contour, but it's not super defined, which I don't usually go for. I kind of like contour bronze all in one, so I love this brush. All right, I'm going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Fairy Flesh, which is just a really beautiful like light mauve pink. Okay, so I'm going to use the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Opal, and I'm just going to use my Wet n Wild highlighting brush and use this to highlight my cheeks. So last question, Emily asked me, stereotypical question, any YouTubing tips? I'm feeling super stagnant growth-wise. I totally get it. YouTube is tough, and there are so many people doing YouTube now versus when I started. I started a million years ago, and I wasn't really serious about my channel for the first few years, so I think I've been on YouTube for a long time, but I didn't really experience any growth for a long time. And I know people say don't get caught up in the numbers game, but it's easier said than done. I mean, you want to see your channel grow, you want to get views because you're putting a lot of effort into your channel. Maybe I can film a whole video on tips. I mean, I'm definitely not an expert. I have less than 300,000 subscribers, which is amazing. I'm so thankful every single day for every single one of my subscribers, and I try not to get caught up in the numbers game because, I mean, it's honestly just discouraging. There's always going to be not a million, but there's always going to be a lot of people who are doing better than you, and there's always going to be people who are doing worse than you. So you just have to keep in mind that everybody's on their own journey, and I don't want to like spit out cliches at you because I know it can be frustrating when you're working hard and you're not seeing the views or the numbers going up. So practically, my number one tip is just to be consistent. Like, put out content consistently, high quality content. Don't just film content and upload it, but do your best to put it out consistently. I think where YouTube is at in 2018 with the whole algorithm and the homepage and the subscription feeds is that they want to see people putting out content consistently. When I upload 4 to 5 times a week, I see my numbers go up. So whether that has to do with YouTube pushing out my videos to more people, or it just has to do with people finding my content because there's more to find, that is when I see the most growth, like the most natural growth. I know 4 to 5 times a week is not practical for everybody, but just do the best you can. Just be consistent. I think when I first started, I would upload like once a month, and then I'd take a break and then upload again, and growth was so slow. So if you're consistent and you're putting out high quality content and you're making videos that people want to see, that you enjoy, that you love doing, you're definitely going to see growth. Maybe I can film a whole video on it. Like I said, I'm obviously not like the #1 YouTuber, but I can share things that have worked for me and didn't work for me in the past if you guys are interested. I'm going to take my ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Aquarius, and then okay, we'll start with that. I'll line my lips with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Aquarius. Okay, one last question. I saw that my friend Samantha March just submitted one saying, do you have any nicknames or pet names for your husband or pups? I'm always curious about this. That is so funny because I was just on Twitter the other day and I was reading this entire thread about nicknames that people have for their dogs that is just so random. And I thought it was so funny because Brady and I always wonder if we're the only ones that are weird like that and have weird nicknames for our dogs. So Charlie, we have some basic names. We call him like Charlie, Charlie Barley, Charlie Bear. We call him Mr. Guy, which I don't know where that came from, but we call him that a lot. For Kenny, we call her like Kenny, Kenny Doll, Kenny Dollface, Kenny Pants. I don't know where these names come from, and I'm sure there are even weirder ones. Like if I like think about myself calling their names, I probably have the weirdest names for them. For Brady, I don't have anything so weird. I feel like Aquarius is a little bit too pink, so I'm going to take the Stila liquid lipstick in Caramello and apply that on top. Yeah, this nude is better. It's still kind of pink. Like I wanted a cooler tone nude. What is your favorite cooler toned nude lipstick? It doesn't have to be like a liquid lipstick, or it could be. I just feel like a lot of my nudes are very warm or very pink, but I want like a true cooler toned, like brown based nude. So if you have any recommendations, I would love to hear from you. Let me just try one more thing. I took off that lipstick. I'm going to try the Urban Decay lip gloss in the shade Fuel. This is what I was wearing last time over a nude lip liner, but I think this one's too warm for this look. I don't know. I like how this looks, but I think it's a little bit too warm. So I think I'll go back to the lipstick. Okay guys, that is the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I am definitely not a makeup artist, so sometimes I'm a little bit hesitant to film these videos because there are so many people on YouTube who create really beautiful, like seamlessly blended looks, and I love watching those videos, but I hope it was helpful if you just wanted to see a few of my favorite products in action. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little while. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye.